have you been here? 321 Coffee?
No, where is it?
So they have a couple different ones. This one, I'll just read the address on the back. 321 Venture in Raleigh, North Carolina. I guess doesn't have the address. There's one on NC State's campus. There's one around here. But what it is, and I don't want to get this wrong, so I'm going to just read the back. It says 80% of adults with intellectual and development disabilities are unemployed. Together, we are changing that. Founded to create an opportunity for individuals with IDD through meaningful employment, 321 proudly employs 50-plus people who roast the coffee you're about to enjoy and brew it in our shops like baristas Aaron, Renee, and Kyle.
Oh, I love that.
I think it's the greatest idea I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Meet the baristas, and on the back, there's Aaron, Renee, and Kyle. You can kind of see them there.
Cute.
And they say, I like making friends, making lattes, and making money, says Aaron.
Same.
Yeah, right? Spot on. So this is 321 Coffee. You can find them on Instagram at 321 Coffee or 321coffee.com. And this particular coffee bag is the Elevate blend. It's a medium roast, and you should be taking hints of like a silky sweet type coffee.
Okay.
So shout out 321.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I want to go into the store. I haven't been. I think I bought this at La Farm Bakery.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they sell it there. And I was getting a bunch of different bags. So that's when I got picked up. But I do want to check them out. And if you have checked them out, let me know how it is because I'm excited to hear about it. All right, Devin.
Yes.
So you got me on salt in my coffee. This is the craziest thing. Let's put some in here because I can't really taste it.
Okay, and then put some more on top for mine. Now, if we had the flaky salt, that would be better, but we're just going to improvise with what Compass Office entails.
That's right, which is like pink Himalayan or something.
Yeah, Himalayan salt, which is not
Is
the
that
same.
good?
You can do more.
Oh my gosh.
We'd like it a little aggressive. That's fine.
Okay.
You're like, how many more times?
This is the craziest thing. Salt in my coffee. All right. And you don't do this like you don't do it in lieu of like milk and stuff, right? Like you still add whatever you're going to add.
I think it heightens the flavor, but typically I'll just do an Americano with a little bit of salt and then like a tiny splash of cream.
Okay.
So you let me know if you taste the salt.
No. Kinda like it's.
Well, I mean, I feel like the grinder's not helping us here.
No. Like, is this all just sitting at the bottom? Is my last sip going to be like a death sentence?
Maybe it could be just like pure salt. But the Himalayan salt, I feel like, is different than like a sea salt. So
yeah,
that could be part of the issue.
Okay, that one I tasted a little bit more.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Like, yeah, because like a salted caramel macchiato or whatever is fire. So that makes sense.
Without all of like the extra sugar and sweetness. Like just like a little bit of salt goes a long way.
Yeah, that's good. So tell me the story, how you got started, what you're doing, all that stuff. So let's start like way back to what led you into real estate and then what that first couple years have been like for you, first year.
So I've been in real estate 8 years.
Oh, nice. Coming up on 8 years.
My first year in real estate, I worked outside of Fayetteville because my husband's military.
Nice.
And we lived in a community called Anderson Creek Club, which is like a gated golf community.
Yes, I have two listings in there.
Yes. So that's where I started real estate.
Okay.
That was where we purchased our first home.
Nice.
We used the VA loan, and the agent who helped me purchase that home ultimately was the one who helped me get into real estate. I had a baby at the time. My husband was coming and going. Most of our conversation or communication was like no contact. So I was just kind of trying to figure it out. Obviously, we were not doing well financially as a one-income household with somebody just starting off in the military. So I needed something with a flexible schedule. And I said, why not real estate?
Why not?
So obviously took the classes, did the test, and then I started working on site. Now, what I didn't realize about working on site was how brutal it was and just how cutthroat, because you have somebody that pulls into the gate, they call the front desk and they say somebody's here. And when somebody wants to come and tour the neighborhood, they're supposed to come to the front office.
Right.
So basically you have to do like a cold pitch. Talk about the neighborhood, put them in a golf cart, and drive them through. And, like, you need to convert on, like, that trial and error. In addition to it, you're working with military families. So typically it's a one-income household as well. And I did feel like the neighborhood was a little bit slightly priced higher than what it should have been.
Right.
So it was tough. It was just eat what you kill scenario. My first year in real estate, I made $12,000, which was better than nothing. And I was so proud of myself. When I got that first check, I was like, whoa.
Where are we going for dinner?
I was like, literally, what debt am I going to pay off today?
That's right.
So that was the beginning of it. I didn't enjoy sitting on site. I didn't enjoy like waiting for the phone to ring. We also couldn't work outside the community at that point in time, and we were strictly just working with new construction.
Okay.
So it was very limited. If I wanted to grow, it's almost like I wasn't able to.
Right.
So my mother-in-law had a house in 12 Oaks behind the Target.
Nice.
She had listed with another agent. It did not sell. It was also not the best time in real estate. She calls me and says, I want to list my house for sale by owner. Will you give me some advice? And I thought to myself, I was like, no. I've worked with 3 buyers. I also don't know anything about your market, and I've never worked in this price point either.
Yeah.
So I said, well, how about this? How about I find an agent for you? And let's see how the relationship works out. And if you like this said agent, then maybe you can work with them and I'll get a referral out of it. And I'll work from behind the scenes or at least kind of learn from it. So I had been following Gretchen Coley on Instagram. Everybody's enamored with her on Instagram just because of the way she is, her Southern accent. She even then had such a large following. In my mind, I was like, oh, that would be so cool to be like that. So I cold called her and told her about my mother-in-law and said, like, you know, she's single because my father-in-law was not currently living there. And I was like, she needs a lot of help to sell her house. Like, so she just started asking me very direct questions, which I wasn't prepared for, but I appreciated it. She said, so you work on site. Do you like it? And I said, well, I mean, I don't know any different.
Right.
And she said, I worked in new construction sales for a long period of time, and it's great as long as you're making the money. And I was like, I don't know what she's saying to me and why she's like giving me all these things. So she then asked me to come to their office, and Gretchen was working with Alan Tate at the time to present my community because she was working with builders that may be interested in purchasing lots and building there. So I drove up to Raleigh, presented, was terrified because at the time I was 23 years old and hadn't even been in real estate a year yet. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just hoping that I would figure it out along the way. And then she looked at me and she said, whenever you want to leave, I have a job for you. And so I went home and I talked to my husband about it. And I called her back and I said, I want to take the job. And she's like, well, we need to talk first. So we met for lunch. She said that she had some neighborhood developments coming, one in Broadway that I'm still actively working.
Okay.
And there were some in Johnston County. And she's like, I need somebody to oversee and manage these. Like, they're in the pipeline. And so we talked through the process. Then after the fact, I called her and I said, I want to take it. And she said, well, you need to move. And I thought to myself, I need to move? Well, that sounds complicated.
Yeah.
So my husband and I sat down and we had a serious talk. He was getting a re-enlistment bonus at the time.
Okay.
In that neighborhood, selling our home would not have been easy, so we were able to rent it out. The re-enlistment bonus was our down payment for our next property. We borrowed money from our father-in-law for our builder deposit, which was like $1,100.
Yeah.
And we just bet on it. And that was probably like the craziest point in my life where I was like, I'm setting us up for failure. Like, we cannot live off of one income. Like, if this does not go well, not to mention, like, if our tenant leaves, what are we going to do to solve the problem?
And have you had your child at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was going to start a new daycare.
Okay.
I had it all lined up. And we just bet on each other. And we just said, like, what's the worst that could happen? We fail and we figure it out.
Yeah.
So I started working with Gretchen. I put my head down and I just kept it moving. And since I started with her, I think next month will be 7 years. We were with Alan Tate for a while. The team tripled in size. We got our own brick and mortar in North Hills. We switched to Compass, and it's been a great experience.
That's so cool. So from that early new construction days at Anderson Creek, what was the biggest takeaway you've gotten from that job? Maybe besides hating it? Other than that, what was the biggest?
Well, I think it's like cold selling.
Yeah.
I think as a younger agent, like being put in front of somebody that's going to ask you questions about real estate that you have no idea what the answer is. I remember somebody asked me some strange question about an HVAC, and I just said, yeah, that's right. And I was totally wrong. But at the end of the day, I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't know the answers. I did have a mentor, but not like right next to me 24/7. And obviously we all know in real estate school, you really don't learn about real estate.
No.
You learn like the laws of it.
Yeah,
and
how to stay out of jail.
I was trying to figure it out along the way. And I think it gave me the confidence that I needed. I definitely struggled with how old are you? How many transactions have you done? Which I didn't approach like after a couple years in, because the experience tells the story for sure.
Right.
But I felt like it was something that I was hit with every single day.
Yeah.
Can you really help me do this? And I'm like,
Right.
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I've
no.
never even
I got
done
hit
I've
with
never
the
done
same
it.
stuff
Yeah.
because I got my license when I was 18. Same thing. I actually went on a listing appointment. At the time, I was with the Morgan Walma Group at Keller Williams, working with them. And I went on this listing appointment. It was a lead they had. And I show up. And at the time, I was like 19, maybe. And it was a $700,000 house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was ready. Because at that point, I've sold. But I was ready to roll. And they were nice. They did the whole walkthrough. And then later, they called Morgan. They're like, yeah, he's too young. We don't want somebody this young. And Morgan was like, I mean, it's the same thing whether I do it or he does it. The ages are kind of irrelevant to the situation. Like, he knows how to do it, I promise. And he's on my team, so I'm walking through him. Like, if there's any problems. But now that, like, I've been in it for almost 8 years, I don't feel like I have that problem anymore of being too young, which is good.
You overcome it, which is helpful.
Yeah, it is helpful. What's been kind of your favorite thing about real estate so far? Like, your favorite aspect of the job? And let me just preface this. Please don't say helping people. Because I know everybody says helping people.
I know. You're like, come on with the cliches.
With the cliches. And I'm sorry for the past podcast guests who said helping people. I'm sure that's a great perk of the job is helping people.
But there's so much more to real estate.
So much more to real estate. And if it was all just about helping people, you wouldn't be taking a commission. So,
yes.
But what's your favorite part of the job?
Well, I feel like it's changed so much because what I've done in real estate has changed so much over the past 8 years.
Let me ask you, how so?
Well, I started in new construction sales on a golf cart. Then I started working with Gretchen. I started working with some more buyers. Then I was in new construction development, and then COVID hit. And
it's crazy.
If I could not get to my phone fast enough, I was going to die, essentially. Like, if I would sit in front of my desk, everyone in the office would be like, your phone literally does not stop ringing, because I had inventory at an affordable price in a market that was insanity. The amount of appreciation across the board in just those couple of years was astronomical. And I had property that was accessible and affordable. So I was really just glued to my computer, and I was glued to my phone, and I couldn't do anything else. I really did love the neighborhood development. I loved the builders that I worked with, that I still work with. It was definitely a passion point of mine because it was something that I had done before. But just trying to stay on top of the amount of phone calls, texts, and emails, and like borderline harassment of being like, did you get my offer? Are you going to accept? Are you going to ignore it? Like, just like all of like the pent up stress of it all. Just that was my sole focus, because if I left and went on another listing appointment of a resale, or I was with a buyer, the amount of follow-up afterwards wasn't worth it. I wasn't serving either party at that point in time because of the amount of inventory that I had. So that was a certain phase. Then the market shifted, which we're still seeing right now, where interest rates rose, and those outer pockets per se in the 300,000, which was my bread and butter, essentially. Nobody wants them anymore, because now you can come inside the Beltline, you can go further into Raleigh. Prices have dropped astronomically in comparison. You're not seeing such competitive scenarios that my business shifted. And I started working with more buyers. I started working with more resale sellers, which I realized is more of my favorite aspect of it all. One of the things that I really enjoyed was taking a home in distress and fixing it. I had a couple of those in the midst of COVID where it was older couples that the property just like got away from them. So I oversaw like, you know, people coming in to paint the cabinets, refinish the floors, the staging, the interior design. And I really enjoyed the before and after product of that. But that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it takes many, many months to get there. And there's always something that goes wrong. So then in the last year, I would say my favorite part about the business is being a connector in the community.
Expand on that a little bit.
I really enjoy putting people in the room with each other.
Okay.
Whether that is past clients, like I hosted a client dinner at my house and had a chef there.
Oh, wow.
And I watched the girls in the room just like magic. They all relocated from different areas. Some were mothers, some were not. And I strategically placed these people in a room, and they just instantly clicked. And they were like so thankful for it. They said that, you know, they didn't have close relationships yet. They had just relocated, and they really enjoyed getting to know people, and that I was kind of in the center of it all. So it's almost like you're the magic in the room.
Yeah.
When you have client events, you can introduce one person to the next, and you can just watch their relationship develop. And it's also, if you need a helping hand or you need advice with something, you're always that connector in real estate, whether it's just a painter or whether it's a financial advisor. You have relationships that are so broad. It could be a plastic surgeon. It could just be a house cleaner. So anybody that needs something, you're always that point of contact. And I feel like at this moment in my career, that is my favorite part, that somebody is always looking for something, and I'm helping them, but in a different way.
Yeah.
It's not just about real estate goals. It's about their lifestyle and what their future holds.
Yeah. I love that. Interesting. So how did this idea of like connecting people, like where did that come from? Because I've never thought about, hey, let me get my past clients in a room together and see if they chat it up.
Well, I think it's because my business changed so much. I mean, when we were in the throes of COVID, it was just transaction after transaction and just keeping your head above water. Like I missed the general, like, actual connection with people, and seeing what we do really is so special. And for myself, like, I grew up moving nonstop. Like, I didn't have a constant home. My family was not well off. It just wasn't, my upbringing wasn't ideal. So having like a constant safe home has always been very important to me. Not to mention, like, my best friends, their husbands are in the military, and watching what they go through, and myself included, home means so much more. And yes, there's that, but also, like, life means so much more too. And when you have people by your side, that's really important.
Yes.
So when I started meeting with clients that, you know, you might be building a custom home, you spend a lot of time with them, and you hear all aspects of their life, whether it's positive, negative, frustrations, outlets. Like, you really become a therapist, and just having the answer to solve all of their problems really changes things. So when you put them in the room with other people, they stick with you for life.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's a good idea.
It's good to have those clients that are sane.
Yeah.
And appreciative and nice. I mean, everybody has their moment in time. Like, we're doing something so personal. We're involved in somebody's personal life, whether it could be divorce, their kids are moving out, they're downsizing. Like, there's so much emotion around real estate. But when you get clients that, like, really appreciate what you do, it really does change your career.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about your social media, because it's pretty fire. It's great.
Thank you.
And I'm like, gosh, this girl is always posting something on her story, which is crazy. And even like all your posts are just like high end. And I need to, like, I look at mine, which is horrible, and I never post on my story. And the posts I do make, they're like so below average. And I'm like, I don't know, like, everything I feel like that you post, and you know, obviously there are other agents who post great things, but they're like intentional and high end, which is great. So is that something that you've come up with? Like, how do you plan your content? How do you, like, do you have a strategy for it, whatever?
I wish I had a strategy, and I wish I had a plan, but it's all in this brain that goes a million miles a minute, and the ADHD is, like, real, and, like, trying to figure it out. Now, a lot of it does come from the team. When I have a listing, the team's page does post it first. I collaborate, and we do have an amazing social media content creator, and she is a star at her job. Now, myself, I've always leaned into social media a lot because I've met some of my favorite clients from social media.
Really?
And I do think that you attract your clientele. And the more you share about your life, the more you become like a real person. And I've met people in person that said that they've watched, whether it had been my YouTube videos from listings or interviews or just like following me on social media, that they feel like they already know me. And trust is such a real thing in real estate. And it's your way to connect, whether it's like, for me, my son plays hockey, so I connect really well in that atmosphere. A military spouse, I'm a mother, and like, I'm younger in the Raleigh area. Like, some people just want to work with people that are like them. And that's okay, because it's a normal human thought in their mind. So I've tried to be as very like authentic as I can, because it really does mean a lot to people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me ask you this. This is something I'm trying to work through right now, so I'm just wanting your advice on it. And I don't want to preface, I'm not too good for any type of listing, okay? I want to preface that. Like, if somebody calls me and they want to list a $100,000 house or $1 million house, it's all good. We'll list
Yeah.
whatever. And we'll give you the same amount of service, like A+ service. That being said, if I want to utilize social media to up my price point, my average, right now I think my average price point is like $350. But like as I'm getting a little older, being in business some of the 8 years, like I'm like, all right, maybe we can kind of up that. How would you utilize social media in a way to position yourself for a higher price point?
Well, luckily I'm on a team that does a lot of luxury price
A lot of luxury.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I utilize the team.
Okay.
And even if it's not my listing or my co-listing, I post. And I think one of like the biggest value assets as a real estate agent is being associated with a team. And it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart because I owe all of my success to being on a team, and the help of the team. And right now, social media is what sells, even though it sucks sometimes. Like the internet is what works. And for clients, they know that. And one of the values of being on our team is everybody equally shares the same content. So if they may not get the agent that has the most followers on Instagram, that house is still going to hit their content. And we all work together to share so it gets more exposure. So we have access to it all. Like we share the Dropbox, we can post our own photos, we can make our own content from somebody else's listings, and we can walk through them. And I think when you start putting yourself in luxury listings, people will pick up on it. Now, there is like a caveat to it because you don't want to be, yes, you can fake it until you make it, but people will know that. If all you do is post luxury real estate and then you get in front of a client that is smart and knows about luxury real estate, they're going to like just go ahead and understand that you're just posting on Instagram and that's all you're doing. You're not actually working with those clients. And I do think there's a lot of agents that have an eye on the shiny object. However, you'll destroy your career. And I don't think anybody ever talks about that. Like you can see all of the real estate agents that go and fly their drone and post in front of $10 million listings. But how many of those clients have you actually helped? Because those clients can easily destroy your career. And you're also ruining it for them. And so in real estate, everybody says they want to help people, but do you? Because if you're actually helping people, you're going to educate yourself and you're going to be able to provide service that nobody else can. And yes, you need to have the experience to do so, but cut your teeth in a different price point. Because I've learned firsthand, they're going to ask you questions that they'll know that you don't know the answer. And when it comes to custom built contracts and the financial aspect of it, you really have to either one, have a mentor that can help you, or you have to have somewhat of experience. Because it's a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell no $4 million. I mean, I would love to sell a $4 million house, but that's not my goal. Like, my goal is to make it more like the threshold of like the $500,000 to $800,000 range. If I can like sit in there, not all my listings, of course, but like if I can break into that range a little bit more. Obviously, granted, like my age, right? Like, so I'm 26. My peers are not necessarily buying $500,000 to $800,000 houses. They're probably not. None of them. But that being said, like I do know there are agents out there that are 21, 22 selling $800,000 houses or whatever. And I'm like, all right, how do I break into that more?
I feel like that's every real estate agent's goal is to break into a higher price point. But like I said, I don't think people talk about what could happen if that's your only goal. And myself, I'm 33. I have, like my best friends aren't buying that price point of home. But some of my favorite clients that become good friends of mine have been in position to buy a $2.5 million house. And I think it's all about where they come from. Sometimes it's help from their family. Sometimes it's just, the position that they put themselves in life to be able to succeed. But in my mind, you can't really just focus on a location or a price point because then what happens when the market shifts? So for me, in my mind, since the market has shifted so much, since you and I have both been in real estate, I've always been broad in my price point and my location. Because you can be an expert in a price point. You can be an expert in a location, but what happens when nobody wants to leave that location? Or what happens if the market just doesn't do well anymore? Those people on those price points, they don't want to walk from those houses knowing that they're going to lose so much money. So you got to be able to give and take a little bit, and I think your service will take you to the next step. And also those people that are buying that $300,000 house, they may buy an $800,000 house in 2 years.
100%. Yeah.
And their equity is going to help them get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're able to break into it in a different way than people say. Like, yes, you can do it through social media, but like, is it authentic?
Right.
Do you want to be known as that agent that just posts the shiny things? Because we all know who they are.
Right,
and we all talk about them. And it has worked for some of them. And it's great. And it's
Yeah.
amazing that they were able to build their business off of doing that. But there had to have been somebody along the way that like really shook them, where they were like, crap, I really don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I think, one of the reasons, too, I wanted to have you on was I love the fact that you've been with Gretchen for so long and have thrived. And I don't know what your future holds or what your plans are. We can talk about that later. But what for you is like, and I know you talk about like, obviously the collaboration of the team and stuff, and that's awesome. But I think being on a team is an underrated asset for most agents.
Absolutely it
and
is.
so why do you, what do you think, let's say that's a agent who's been in the game for 3 years and they're like, it's the business just isn't where I should be after 3 years. I made it first that 2-year hump, everybody says.
Yeah.
And I'm not really thriving. Like, why should they join a team?
Well, I think there's a stigma to it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
For sure. And I think as a new real estate agent, you have to have a mentor. And it's figuring out, what does that mentorship look like to you? What does that mentorship look like to them? And you have to be able to do the dirty work to be seen. And my relationship with Gretchen has grown significantly, obviously. Like, I would never leave the team. It just is what it is. Her and I, like, she's like a mom to me. She would say sisters. So sometimes there's been arguments when we go out to lunch and I get ID'd and she doesn't. She's like, how do you know that's not my sister? So it's a little thing that we play off back and forth. But you have to be vocal in what you want and what you expect. But you also don't know what you want yet.
Right.
It's trial and error like it all is. So mentorship is one of the biggest things. And somebody that's willing to take you along places, even if there's not a financial gain to it. Whether it's you're following them along to a listing appointment and you just take the notes and you send the follow-up notes.
Right.
You offer to run the schedule and you send the emails. You go with them to showings. You listen to everything that they say because – especially when you're showing homes that are older, like, you need to be able to pick up on repairs and like the finances of that and like what to expect, and you really don't know until you're in it.
Right.
Learning about new construction is really imperative too. But with that, your mentor can be your mentor, but like, do they provide leads? And that's where you'll learn the most in your business, because your peers aren't going to trust you from the very beginning.
Right.
And I really think also people start on a team and then they think they have it all and they think it's easy and they leave and want to do it on their own. We have a lot of staff on our team. We have transaction coordinators. We have social media content creators. We have a marketing team. And we also have somebody that runs our phones. So really all of the help is there.
Right.
We have a marketing plan set in place. There's no like guessing.
Right.
Obviously, it's taken some time to get here. And I have been involved in a lot of that. But when you have a team, you can leave and go on vacation.
Yeah.
You can have help.
Yeah.
If you're at another appointment or you're with another client and there may be something that's really important to get signed at that moment, you can have somebody help you. So I think it's more, there's agents that struggle with it that want to they want their name on the sign, which is great.
You're right.
And that's something that's important to them. However, you can still have it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, because you can leave the team and you have a good enough book of business where you can leave the team and be totally fine.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to an agent that is in a similar position to you that's like, same thing, like, I want my name on the sign. I don't want to be pushing making this person more great. I want to make myself great or whatever.
Well, I think it depends on who your team lead is. And the relationship that Gretchen has built with all of us.
Wow, that is salty.
Did you get to the end? We probably should have started. Okay, well, it probably woke you up.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the relationship. Like, there's great team leads out there. And it is black or white. Like, this is your split. This is what it looks like. I'm not changing it. I don't care.
Right.
And sometimes that works for people.
Yeah.
Gretchen has been one where the business has grown that she wants to keep the people that are close to her.
Gotcha.
And a conversation can change everything. And I think it's people understanding that and realizing it. I mean, my name will be underneath with a little rider
Right.
hanging, and I'll be a co-list on MLS, and it will still pull up as my transactions and my sales. So it's not like completely out of it, whereas other teams you may never see who that
Right.
co-list is. But like I said, like we have people come to our team all the time that want to join. And it's because they watch all of us who have stayed. Like
Right.
there's other agents on our team that have been on the team almost as long as I have and will probably keep going.
What a testament to Gretchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the relationship, and it's like what's important to you. And, you know, if you're going to be running a business, you have to care about the people that work with you.
Yeah.
And it shows because you can watch all of these teams where people will ride or die, and then they just up and leave in the middle of the night, and everyone gossips about it. So I think it's pretty evident to show. And when you grow things together, when you do things together, it really does help. I mean, I've made great builder relationships and have done subdivisions on my own that I've brought to the team because of my help with doing new construction through Gretchen. So it's a give or take, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not just her providing business. I'm giving business to the team as
Right,
well,
right,
too.
right.
And opportunities that also give opportunities to other agents on the team where there's buyers that are unrepresented. There's more leads to go around. And it keeps things afloat.
Yeah. Obviously, like, you've worked with a lot of agents on Gretchen's team and just know a lot of agents. In your experience, what do you think makes a great agent great?
What makes a great agent great? What I would say is realizing when you're wrong goes a long way, because real estate is so cutthroat. I think a lot of people are, one, multitasking for sure.
Yeah.
Being emotionally intelligent and aware of somebody's feelings is almost as important as multitasking. Because when you're going and meeting with these people, everybody is a different type of person, right?
Right.
So you go through like the, whatever it's called, where they're like type A, D, C, and all of the characteristics that go along with them. So one partner may be very nitty gritty into the details and needs to talk through it, where the other person is not listening at all and they just care about the facts.
Right.
So when you are able to go into a room and read people and you can match their energy, it completely changes how you are as a real estate agent. If you get defensive and you're not able to like accept like your wrongdoing, and honestly, this makes you grow in life in general, whether it's like your marriage, any sort of relationship, partnership, or friendship. Real estate, like if somebody calls you out, you need to be like, wow, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the customer's always right.
Right.
9 times out of 10. But you at least have to acknowledge it. So I think multitasking, being emotionally intelligent, being able to read the room and feel out somebody's emotions really takes you to the next step, because you'll have clients that will never tell you how they feel.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to pull it out of them.
Yeah.
Which is where like us being a therapist comes into play, and being able to realize like, okay, if they respond to this question like this or like this is how I need to lead them in the right direction. And you always have to be the calm person in the room and be able to deliver the bad news without the world falling apart.
Right.
And you can't take on their stress.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot.
How do you think somebody builds on that skill of like understanding social cues and being sympathetic?
It's not easy. I mean, I think a lot of it comes into like your upbringing.
Yeah.
What was your life like? What are your life experiences? Because it doesn't really matter age, in my opinion. It depends. Like I always call it like street smarts and like figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're all human. Nobody's perfect. And we're dealing with somebody's largest transaction of their life, more than likely. Their kids, their family, their animals at home, their cleanliness, their personal everyday things. We're seeing all of it.
Yeah.
And we have to be able to help in every way that we can see fit. And if you don't pick up on those cues, it's not doing well.
It's tough. Yeah. What's been one of your craziest transactions that you've had that you can talk about?
I've had a couple. Well, it's always hit or miss, because at the end of the day, like you don't want to talk badly about any sort of clientele.
Right.
But I mean, I've had very difficult clients.
Okay.
And impossible to please. But at the end of the day, if you do right by them, they'll admit to it.
Yeah.
And you may never get that apology, but they will refer you business. And I think it depends on if you can handle it. And I've had scenarios where I had to like twist off an old washer and dryer that smelled awful for somebody to carry it down the stairs, and I was treated as if just like a delivery girl. Like, she can go and do it right this second and take my trash cans in and do this and do that. And at the end of the day, like, you're just working with humans.
Yeah.
So, and I've had some of those clients,
Yeah.
and it's good about, like, you can read it up front,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes down to you as an agent. Do you want that transaction or do you not?
Right,
And I've gotten
right.
to the point in my career where if I see a couple of the red flags where maybe there's not honesty, maybe there's more behind the scenes that could become an issue,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm not the right fit. And I do have those conversations up front where I always ask, like, what are you looking for in an agent?
That's a
And
good
you
question.
can see how people interact and what they expect. And you can see it in the negotiations of the listing agreement.
Right.
And I always preface it as this is a partnership in my mind. I'm helping you and you're helping me too, because there's things that I can't control.
Right.
I can't control what your house looks like. I can try. I can
Right.
show up and try to make some beds and things like that. But at the end of the day, like, you can't get there at the drop of a hat.
Right.
And sometimes it's not feasible.
Right.
Like, and that's not something that we should be providing as like a service provider that will clean your house for you.
Yeah.
But look, if it's somebody that is really interested in a house and you only have like 5 hours for it to be
Right.
seen, and like the lights need to be turned on and like the dogs need to be let out, no problem, 100%
Right.
will take care of it.
Right.
And freshen up, tuck away some of the kids' stuff,
Yep,
stuff like
yep.
that. But I just always tell people, like, look, you're the one that's going to make your house look a certain way.
Yeah.
You're the one that's going to make it the most accessible, and you're going to be the one that sets the first impression. I can do the online impression all day, every day.
Right.
But when they walk in your front door, especially where we are in the market right now, if you're not willing to do X, Y, and Z of what I'm saying needs to be done, then maybe we're not the best fit.
Yeah.
And somebody else will gladly come in here. They'll tell you the price you want. They'll tell you not to prep the house.
That's
They'll
right.
tell you not to paint. They'll tell you not to put anything away.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right.
And go that route.
Yeah.
But for me, at the end of the day, all of that will make you more money if you just put in the extra work.
Yeah.
Which sometimes it's an uncomfortable conversation. I've
Right.
definitely had people that are like upset when I
Yeah.
say, I know that's grandma's rug, but let's move it into the next room.
Right.
And it's at the end of the day, it's a business, and you want your house to appeal to all walks of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I try to filter that out in the beginning because I'm like, look, there's some dogs here. What does your life look like?
Yeah.
Can you take the dogs with you for showings? If that's a no, then sometimes it's not going to work.
Right.
Because
right.
people won't enter the house.
Right.
Depending on type of dog.
Yeah.
If there's a cat there, somebody has allergies, they may not even come in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's things that you kind of have to work through. And
Yeah.
if you work from home, can you leave? Are you going to be present for showings?
Right.
Because then a buyer may not feel comfortable walking through.
Right.
There's so many things that go into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I've had some crazy stuff. I had one house, actually. This was 3 or 4 years ago. It was a nicer house. It was like $600,000 we had it listed at. And it was this whole thing with the daughter. So it was this sweet 80-year-old lady. Lived in it. Her husband passed away a few years prior. Her daughter lived in a nice, like a $400,000 house right behind her. Crazy lady, though. Shot her husband, like
Oh, my.
I'm saying like crazy, like druggy crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, so she's calling me because I have my for sale sign in this her mom's yard, and she's like, "This is my effing house, yada yada yada. You can't sell my dad's house. This belongs to me. All this stuff." I'm like, "Oh, you're not on the deed, so whatever." Day before closing, we close on Monday. Sunday night, I get a call from the buyer's agent, and it's like, "Did you see on the news that the house is burnt down?" And I'm like, "No." So I look it up, like it was all like people were posting it on Facebook because it was in like Bun Level area, and I was like, no. So me and my wife drive. It's like 11 o'clock out at night. We drive out there, look at it. Sure enough, I mean it's gonzo to the ground. Turns out she burns the house down day before closing, but the Friday, the old lady's homeowner's insurance was like ending. So she calls me. She's like, should I renew? We close on Monday. And I'm like, yeah, renew because you don't know what's going to happen.
No,
and you'll get reimbursed for anything that, you don't end up using. Like, let's say they could cancel closing day of or whatever. There's a lot of things that could happen. Didn't think it was going to burn down. But praise the Lord, she re-upped her insurance. Worked out for me because she paid me 3% of her insurance money, which was great. And it was kind of more than the house was listed for anyway. And then paid me to sell the lot that the burnt down house was on. So anyway, they tried to go find the daughter. She ran off. I don't know. Last I heard, she was like, I don't know, Virginia or West Virginia or something. They got contact from her and stuff.
But
then her husband that she shot, he didn't die. Came into like the law firm that I was working with that I got this sale from, and said, yeah, she did all this, yeah, but she's gone now. It's crazy. Isn't that wild?
That is wild. I mean, I've approached scenarios where like the ceiling has fallen through a couple days before closing from like a pipe burst.
Oh my gosh, that would suck.
And it delays it, and then you have to get insurance involved, and it's just a never-ending thing, or like situations like that. But not that the house is burned all the way down to the ground.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it took like, I forget how many gallons. I mean, thousands of gallons to put it out. And it was like every fire department was posting about it, like, because they all had to go because it was such a big fire. Because it was a big house. And there's other houses around, so I want to make sure like nothing else got burned down. But that was crazy. Yeah.
That's a tough scenario. I mean, sometimes I feel like you just run into those in real estate because there's nothing you can do.
No, nothing you can do. And for me, I'm thinking, well, that's it. I'm not getting paid because I never actually made it to closing, even though it's tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, and I mowed this lady's lawn for the whole time, and it was 5 acres.
My goodness.
And I'm like, oh gosh, this sucks. And then she ended up, thankfully, paying me anyway, which is nice of her. But anyway, so you don't have any intentions of ever being a team lead?
No.
You just don't want the work of it, or do you just like I'm so happy with Gretchen. Why would I change something good?
I'm happy where I am. Yeah. And people managing takes a lot of time and effort. And for me, I love real estate.
Okay.
I'd rather just focus on real estate.
Yeah.
I don't want to oversee and manage people's emotions, opinions, thoughts, feelings, because they all have feelings. And then also running staff, because I know as an agent that have worked on a team with and without staff, because I myself was our listing manager at one point in time, which was god-awful. Gretchen kept being like, don't quit today. Please don't quit. I need you to stay, because our listing manager had left, which was like a new role, maybe a year into me being on the team. And I said, you know what, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
And that's what actually got me into like a higher price point, because I was on the listing appointment with her and people automatically trusted me.
Yeah.
So then I was working multi-million-dollar listings, and I was running behind the scenes of it and scheduling everything. So that definitely got me the pre-exposure.
Pull that microphone a little closer to you.
Okay. But that got me like the pre-exposure. But like I would have to have a transaction coordinator. I'd have to have somebody in some sort of marketing. And also, like, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that type of marketing.
Yeah.
So, and then that means you have people on staff. You got to do enough business to pay them.
Yeah. So what's your role with Gretchen now? Like, do you have like a title, or are you just like an agent for Gretchen?
I don't have a title. I mean, there's a handful of us where we're like the founders.
Right.
But I'm just an agent on the team.
Nice.
So I do help like the newer agents when they ask for it, or advice. But other than that, like I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily doing more as like an admin sort of role or any sort of support. We do offer some trainings, and that's pretty much about it. But I mean, our team, all of us as agents, we just offer support. Like if people have questions or need help, we're an open book.
Have you always been this way, like without not having like the pride of wanting your own thing?
What do you mean?
Like, I think a lot of the agents that are on teams, I know for me, like, right, when I joined Daniel Gluckins, I'm thinking, oh, people are going to think like, oh, he's a loser. He couldn't figure it out on his own. And
nobody would think that.
Right. But in my prideful mind, that's what I'm thinking, right? And so, but anyway, I'm like, well, screw my pride. Like, nobody cares anyway. And so let me go join a team that I know is going to benefit me and I can benefit them. And it's been a great relationship so far. But for you, like, to never have owned your own thing or have done your own thing, like, I think most agents have the ego of like, no, it has to be me. And you just never have had that?
No, because I think I knew that I saw all the behind the scenes stuff, because I also worked as an admin role at one point in time just to like help us get through the next phase. And I like my life. Yeah. And I like the freedom. Yeah. And I enjoy having the support that I have. Now, if the team wasn't structured the way it is, I don't know if I would have stayed. And I think everybody knows, like, I could go off on my own. And I think a lot of people have made, like, the assumption that it may happen at some point in time, or when is Devin going to leave Gretchen? Like, this has been, like, a long time coming, because there has been a lot of agents of prominent teams that have been there for a decent amount of time that have made that step and have moved. And I think people are always watching.
Yeah.
But for me, like I said, I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
Gretchen is always open to a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if I need help with something or I want something, it's a conversation away.
Yeah.
And managing people is not what I got into real estate for.
Yeah. How old's your son?
He's 9. He'll be 10. Oh my God. 10 in July.
That's crazy. That's
literally
so cool.
is crazy.
That's so cool. So how has that been, like, obviously, you're, like, top of your game and having a son, having a husband, like maintaining those relationships while building a great business?
It was definitely a struggle, especially in the beginning, before our team had as much support as it does now. And it being in COVID, like, it just was what it was.
Yeah.
And my husband's, with his job in the military, he comes and goes, like, a lot.
Okay.
So for me to be present when he's around is definitely important. So I try to structure my business that way.
Yeah.
And, like, during COVID, during witching hour of a toddler, I would cut off at 4, do bedtime, and then I would be on my computer from like 8:30 to midnight every single night. And that was the way that I could be devoted to my family. I could have dinner ready. I could have bath time. I could be present in the moment. But if I picked up my phone, he would scream bloody murder the whole time anyway. So it got to the point where I was like, he's needing something from me and he knows that I'm not present. So I just basically trained all of my clients, like, this is witching hour.
That's good.
During this time, I will not be as responsive, but I promise you, I will call you back at 8 p.m.
Right.
And if there's a time that works better, then I'll accommodate.
Right.
But I may have to lock myself in a closet.
Yeah. And you've never gotten kickback from that, right? Like,
no.
like any.
But I mean, at the end of the day, real estate is real life, and people understand.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of people are like, "Oh, I need to stop working at a certain time." No, you don't. Let's talk about it, because regardless of the clientele you're serving, not everyone can answer you from 9 to 5.
Right.
And people have lives.
Right.
And people have kids. And if it's an executive or a doctor or like a surgeon, they literally cannot talk to you.
Right.
And then they have a few minutes of free time with their family that they haven't seen all day.
Right.
And then they start thinking at night.
Yeah.
You have to be available after 8 p.m.
I love that, because you're like one of the few agents that say that. I feel like the culture right now is switching from that, right, which has been the thing, to no. You cannot pick up your phone at night. Like, that's crazy. Like, I took a call at 9 o'clock last night, and I'm like, well, of course. Like, first of all, if I'm playing with my daughter or something, then I might push it off, until like I put her to bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I agree with you full heartedly. Like, I think part of the real estate is the flexibility, right? But it's also the flexibility of the other end. Like, you got to work later nights then sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to work weekends or whatever it is.
You can be there for carpool. You can be there for school dances. You can be there for games and practices. But you have to pick it up somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so we may not be working a 9 to 5, but we can be present in our lives that matter.
Yeah.
But the other people that we are serving and taking care of and helping,
Yeah.
because everybody loves to help people, they have the same lives that we're living.
Yeah.
And so they're going to spiral at night once their kids go down. If the sign's in the front yard, there hasn't been activity. Yes, sometimes things are just better the next day.
Yeah.
But also the service that you're providing to your clients is important. They're always going to remember that if they sent texts after hours, that you never responded to those. And it could be as simple as, hey, I'm putting my son down, I'll call you back.
Right.
Or it could be, I actually fell asleep at 9:30 last night, but let's talk about it. Let me know when you're free.
Yeah.
And some of it is a spiral where they just need to spiral, which is definitely true. And I feel like we do catch the weight of being the punching bag sometimes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a family that's arguing about how their house hasn't sold. They're living in, like, a house that's not typically theirs. They're trying to keep it clean all the time. There's a lot of stress that happens.
Yeah.
So, for me, I just always try to put myself in their shoes. And I structure my life accordingly.
Yeah.
Now, my life has shifted in a way where my son is almost 10, but now it's practice. And it's games. And he plays travel hockey. And I'm at the rink 5 days a week in the fall, which is happening soon. We took a little break for a little bit. And it's traveling for tournaments.
Right.
So I have to make up on the other end. If you can't be physically present all the time, you have to be present in another way.
Right.
And since he started this travel hockey last year, I brought on a partner agent. His name is Lowell. He actually used to be our listing manager.
Oh, okay.
And I love him dearly. He's a near and dear friend of mine, but he also is really good at things that I'm not good at.
Okay.
So for me, it wasn't fair to my clients where I've reached this phase of my life with my son, and I didn't want to give up on seeing him achieve his goals. He made like the top team for his age group.
Oh, wow.
And he's playing the top teams in the nation for his age group. And what kind of mother would I be if I'm not present all the time?
Yeah.
Now, there's give or take, obviously.
Right.
Sometimes it's my husband, sometimes it's just me. But it's not fair to my clients that want to partner with me if there's a house they want to see and I'm in New York again.
Right.
So I brought on a partner agent, and him and I have a relationship where we approach everything, both of us, at all points in time. And sometimes you may have him, sometimes you may have me, but it's always us together at every point in time. And that's been able to give me like a little bit of a balance between family life and real estate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think too, I mean, we make a lot of money, so it's like we get paid a lot to do our job, so I think it's okay to work a little late on it. And this whole partnership that you got with Lowell, how's that been going? Like, has it been
good.
Great?
So
Are you guys
brought
still working
him,
out kinks?
I mean, we've had some kinks. I brought him on middle of last year because that's when I was getting into the throes of travel hockey. I'd never experienced that before. I had a lot more buyers than I typically do. And then my husband and I, we never had a wedding. We renewed our vows in December last year.
Okay.
So I knew that was happening. I knew I was going to try to disappear.
Right.
So I was like, this is just, it is what it is. We ran through the numbers. He said what he would want to make. Our operations manager, Karen, she's the mom of our team, really made sure that we were both comfortable because he is a good friend of mine. And one of my biggest fears is that if it goes south, we won't have our friendship anymore.
Right.
And I had made that adamant to Karen too. Like I spend Christmas Eve with her family. Like we're all very, very close.
Wow. Okay.
So I told her, I said, I love him dearly. And I know that he would be a good partner with me because he knows my flaws.
Yeah.
I have way more flaws than he does. And he's good at things that I'm not good at, whether that's like paperwork or staying organized or like making sure like we're following like a task because I can be like shiny object and move on to the next.
Yeah.
And we complement each other very well. So I said, I need your honest opinion. What does it look like financially for him for it to make sense?
Right.
And so we work every transaction together, and it's worked out really well, and it's really helped me. So now I can go to these events where I'm like speaking somewhere, or I'm doing networking with like YPN of Compass, or I can go to a tournament and kind of turn off. Not to mention, hockey rinks really don't have good service. So if I'm trying to negotiate something, he can tap in.
Yeah.
Or if I want to go to the beach for a day, like I can. But I still try to be as present as possible.
Yeah. On like the practical side of that partnership, are you guys like in group chats with your clients together?
Yes, all the time.
Okay. That makes it nice.
So we label everything in our group chat with like the address and our clients. And if I don't respond, he responds and vice versa. And sometimes it could be us texting at the same time. Luckily, you get the bubble, so you know who's texting.
Yeah, that's nice.
But I mean, we don't ever like to leave anything like left out there. So sometimes like people need instant gratification and we work together to provide that.
Yeah. Your husband, is he a lifer at the military?
No, thank God. So he went to college before he joined the military. And he's actually graduating with his master's next month from Duke. So
congrats. What's his name?
Tyler.
Tyler. Congrats, Tyler. That's dope.
Yes. So he
And thank you for your service, Tyler.
Yeah, right. He stayed in for some of the benefits. One of the main things is with the military, you get the GI Bill.
Yeah.
They changed the rules recently where you have to be in a certain amount of time for it to pass to your children. So we kind of had to hit that hump. He's going into another phase of his career, re-enlisted for a few more years just because it made sense for us and our family, and he wants to continue his education.
Okay.
So
what's like the goal for him after?
He wants a PhD because he's crazy.
To like teach or something? Or
he said he would love to teach when he retires, whenever that would be.
Really?
He would love to teach.
So he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, he would love to teach any sort of like politics, intelligence, something of that nature because that's what his background is in.
Yeah.
But I mean, wherever life takes him,
Yeah.
I don't know what the next step will be, but hopefully he gets out in, I think it's 4 more years.
Okay.
And then he'll go on to whatever he goes on to, and I'm just here.
Yeah. Is he still in Bragg?
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice.
So we live in Fuquay, which is like halfway point for me to get to North Hills, for him to get to Fort Bragg. So he always has to do the commute, and all the guys are like, why do you drive that far? And he's like, because my wife.
Yeah.
I said, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. We live in Anger.
Yeah.
No, that's exciting. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's no team on the horizon for you. There's no
Nope.
Devin team coming up. But what's coming up in the future for you? Like, what are your plans, goals? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Because I feel like I set goals for myself, and like I got the award of like top team member, platinum, elite, whatever the heck that means. I don't know. There was lots of words involved. And I do a decent amount of business. I mean, I typically do around 30 million, and that could range. One year I did 80 contracts or 80 transactions.
What?
That was very stressful. That
crazy.
was a COVID time. That was like turn-in and burn-in, new construction builds. And my price point has increased. So I think last year I did like 62 or 56 or 62 or something like that. But honestly, I don't keep track. I just go to my one-on-one meeting with Karen, and she tells me where I'm at, and they log all of the numbers. So I don't necessarily have a goal. I've been pretty like straightforward with like my transaction count for the last couple of years and my income and my volume. So as long as I stay on track, I'm happy. Like it could fluctuate, but that's all. Like I can fix that.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have.
You're
like,
just happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. I want to stay happy. I want to provide great service to my clients.
Yeah.
Mental health is like a huge thing to like take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I want to be present with my family. And if I help people achieve their real estate goals and like I get great reviews, that's really like the thing that matters to me.
Yeah.
I think my main goal is providing like consistent service regardless of the way of real estate, whether you're in a slow season or a busy season.
Yeah.
And keeping them as like forever clients.
Yeah.
Is cool. More so the goal.
Yeah. That's cool. You don't have any like, I'd like to represent like this neighborhood or like.
It'll all come.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a great neighborhood in the pipeline called Wellington Reserve.
Okay.
Which is borderline Raleigh and Cary. Okay. It's off of Tryon. That's 3 million plus.
Oh, wow.
And
that's some good content right there.
It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's off of Dover Farm Road. The developer owns McNair Country Acres next door, so it's like an equestrian area.
Okay.
It's absolutely remarkable. 11 lots. We've already sold 3 of them, working on the 4th one now. So, I mean, for me, like, yes, it's great to have, like, a community like that and to kind of plant your seed, like, with your name and, like, that price point. But I think it's more important to me to, like, have everlasting relationships. Like, I hope that my clients, when somebody tells them that they're thinking of buying and selling, they say, you have to call Devin.
Yeah.
And when their life changes or like their kids want to buy a house, I hope that I'm their next call.
Yeah.
Regardless of price point, regardless of any of that. And I think a lot of people want like a goal of getting that neighborhood or being in that price point. But at the end of the day, it's a people business.
Yeah.
You're working with humans.
Yeah.
So.
Besides going to hockey games and working, what do you guys like do for fun?
Nothing.
What?
I like to stay home.
Okay.
I am such a homebody.
Yeah?
Like, when people say, what are you doing this weekend? I'm enjoying my mortgage if I'm not working. Like, I don't want to do anything.
I love enjoying my mortgage.
I think that, all we do is talk to people and yap all day long.
Yeah.
And I want to have, like, enough battery for, like, my near and dear friends. And I feel like we're both working so much, and we have season tickets to the Canes. So like we'll go and do that. That's kind of like our family
thing.
That's good. But like I enjoy being at home with my dogs on my couch, like watching reality TV.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not traveling for hockey, at a Canes game, at the rink for my son, or like celebrating like a dinner for like my best friend's promotion, I'm going to be at home. Unless I'm working.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like at the weekends, I'm going to be working as much as possible, but more than likely, I'm going to be sitting on my couch. And no, I don't want people showing up because I'm not going to have makeup on and I'm going to be in my pajamas.
Yeah.
So
oh, no, that's great.
We're both very much homebody people.
Yeah.
And we bought a new house last year, so we spend a lot of time there.
Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like we are too. Like me and my wife, I feel like we kind of just chill. Okay, I feel like we want to chill, but I feel like we would look at the calendar for the week and we're like, okay, great. We got really nothing. And then it's like, okay, well, now Monday night you got this. Tuesday night you have this. Maybe you don't have anything Wednesday night. Thursday night now we have to have this dinner and this thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, or like a lot of our stuff showings at night and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough balance. Anytime we go away for tournaments, like my husband's so funny, he always like disappears like into the room and all the dads are like, come and hang out. And he's like, you don't understand, guys. This is where I'm relaxing and I'm going to lay down and I'm going to watch some of my shows and I'm not going to be dealing with all the BS that comes along with it. And I'm very much the same way. Like I just recharge at home. I become a better person.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
Whether that's your family or your clients. And recharging for me is like sitting on my couch. And I've gone through the scenarios of like, I'm so busy, I can't figure out when to do it.
Yeah.
I'll block my calendar.
Oh, okay.
And obviously I can move it.
Right.
Move this like couch rot block. But I always look and try to give myself like one day during the week where like I reset, whether it's like making my home a certain type of way, because my home's a mess, I can't focus. And then just like doing nothing.
Yeah. That's nice. What shows are you watching?
All the reality TV. I'm a huge housewife girl.
Okay.
I watch all of them. I don't know if your wife is into them. My husband hates it. He's like, why do you like to watch like women scream at each other at the dinner table? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
She just finished the Mormon show.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't get into that. Some of those girls, I feel like there's not much going on upstairs.
No.
So it's like a little bit like, oh my gosh, I can't even listen to it anymore.
She watches it, and I have two brothers, and their wives, they all like watch it. And yeah, she loves that. She's into all like the Bachelor stuff. A Bachelorette, I don't know.
It's all hit or miss. But like my husband and I will get on our kicks of shows.
Yeah.
I watched all of Games of Thrones like a couple of years ago.
Did you? I've never watched it.
Oh my God.
Highly recommend?
Amazing. It changed my life. I was like, I want to be Khaleesi on a dragon. And it was so funny because my husband watched it when he was in high school. And it's not really an appropriate show for people to like be watching like with their kids like in high school. But that was the thing where everyone watched it with their parents. But it was my birthday one year. And it was when House of Dragon just released, which is supposed to be like before Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And my husband was like, you know what? Why don't we watch Game of Thrones and then we can pick up this?
Yeah.
And I highly recommend watching it with somebody who's watched it before because all of the family names are so long and like there's so much incest and weird stuff that's happening and it's hard to like pick up on who's who.
Yeah.
So it was nice because he would pause and like educate me. I'm like, this is like a class while I'm watching it. And then I would rewind it and then I would pause. He's like, did you catch that part? And I'm like, no, let's go back.
Yeah.
And so I really dove into it, and I think I finished all the seasons like in a couple of months, like
really?
Because it's like a cliffhanger every night. You have to keep going, but then we would stop at a certain time.
Yeah, that's part of the like I am like I'll binge until 2-3 in the morning, and like I'll get up, and so that's why for me I'm like I can't even start it because I know myself like when I watched Breaking Bad for the first time, like I was like I'm not getting any sleep, like I'm getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep and then having to get up and go to work. But that's a great show. We watch that. We watch. We kind of go through the same 3. I feel like we just kind of like rewatch them. Like we have a lot of background shows. So King of Queens, Friends, and The Office. Like we kind of have those 3. Like
we went through Peaky Blinders is a good one, even though they're a little tough to understand. I'm always like, what did he say?
Yeah, I watched the first episode and I was like, but I've heard such good things. I was like, I should go back and try it.
It's so good. And then they did a new thing recently. Handmaid's Tales, I loved. A lot of people are against Handmaid's Tales because there's some pretty graphic scenes in them that definitely make you uncomfortable. But just like the whole backstory to it.
Really?
And the main actress in it is absolutely phenomenal. That was definitely one of my favorite shows. So we'll go through and like that's what we do at night is we watch the shows.
Yeah.
But right now, I can't even remember. There was like a new like season, I guess, of Peaky Blinders that we just finished.
There's a movie coming out or something there.
Maybe it was the movie. I think we watched the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we watched that and that was good. But we're definitely heavy into the shows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. We need to find something else because we're in that limbo right now where we just got nothing to watch, so we just watch the same stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. We watched. Have you seen Black Rabbit? Really good show. Jude Law, and Jason Bateman. Anyway, they own a restaurant in New York or something, and it's like the one brother commits crime, and the other brother's like either got to give up the restaurant or help out the brother, and it's really good.
I mean, all the shows with crime in it are fascinating.
Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, what did you think of the coffee? Did you like it?
Yeah, I did like it.
Was it salty?
Mine is a little salty, but I like the salt in my
Yeah.
coffee. But the salt was added after the fact. But I
Yeah.
do think it's a good coffee. Yeah.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst cup of coffee, 10 being the best cup of coffee.
I mean, I feel like either or is a very dramatic option.
Yeah, so somewhere in the middle.
I mean, I would say it's definitely in the middle. I would say like maybe a 7.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not rating coffee every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
to me,
know.
coffee is coffee. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's good coffee. But
Yeah.
I also think it goes into the preparation of how you make it.
Yeah, yeah. I hate that you said 7 because I was going to say like a 7.3. And my fear is that people listening think I just based my review off what the guest review is. And it's not. Like, I'm drinking this, I'm like,
Well, maybe it's
like
because
a
you put salt in it. Maybe that's
No,
why
okay.
we're on the same page.
Big salt chunk I just absorbed. It was a 7.3.
Yeah.
After that, I was like, 4. But that being said, I'll give it a 7.3. People, okay? I didn't steal her number. But I'll give the idea of this place a 10. Like, I think this is such a cool idea. It says employing adults with disabilities, representation matters. I love the idea of this coffee
Absolutely.
shop. So I'll give the idea a 10. And they have different, like this is the Elevate blend. They have different blends, so maybe they're better, you know? Yeah. So I'll give it a 7.3, but a 10 for the idea.
Okay.
I love it. Where can people find you?
They can follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, I would say.
Okay.
Devin Curlings Realtor.
Nice.
Yes, and I share all things because for me, I like to incorporate my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a mom, and I love to cook and be kind of like a homebody. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very much into like antiquing, like easy recipes that are good, and I like to save and highlight all of that. Also, balancing like the struggle of being a busy mom with an active child.
Yeah.
And being present for your family. Like
Yeah.
that is a big passion of mine, is showing up for your partner and yourself.
Yeah.
So I like to share how I try to figure it out along the way.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to real estate. Like obviously real estate's great, but
Right.
I feel like it makes you, it's more of like real life and a little relatable,
Yeah.
which is always good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll look at it.
Yeah.
We have our first daughter was born. She just turned 1. So it was a big thing for us. She started walking, which is cool. So yeah, like I'm trying to find, like my wife, she works 1 day a week, but she stays home with her the rest of the days. So it's great. It's working out great for us. But then like just me, like I want to spend time with her, obviously. But also got to make money.
Yeah.
So,
It's a balance. I
Yeah.
mean, for myself, I would love to have another child at some point in time. It
Yeah.
just has not happened yet. So hopefully within the next couple of years,
Nice.
I'll be bopping around pregnant on the job site.
Heck yeah.
So
That's dope.
we'll see. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's my plan, to balance it all. I think it's amazing for your children to watch you try to,
Yeah.
succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it. It was
Did
super
I do
fun.
good?
Yeah, you killed it. You did
Okay,
great.
cool.
Yeah. It's always better like when somebody's talking,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. So you did great. So thank you for coming on. It was an honor meeting you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This
Absolutely.
was fun.
Absolutely. Bye everybody.